Good day, how you going, mate? I'm internal monologue Masato. Today I'm gonna hop on a light rail in Canberra, so please have a look at this video. Thank you.
Okay, I just arrived in front of the nearest railway station and yeah, it's still quite chilly at the moment. It's probably around 7 degrees. Today I'm hopping on this cute Canberra's light rail and I try to use these and those as part of a basic grammar review. First and foremost, the word these comes from this, right? And it's a plural pronoun and it identifies a specific person or thing close at hand. Like if you bring some favorite books with you today, you could say these books are very useful for learning the English language. In contrast, if you bring one book, then you should say this book is very useful for learning the English language. On the other hand, those comes from that. It's obviously a plural pronoun as well, but the difference between these and those is the physical distance, right? More specifically, this determiner identifies particular persons or things observed or heard by someone or obviously mentioned, no, sorry, previously mentioned, known or understood, which means that what you are saying distances from the specified persons or things. In this case, you should say, I don't like those guys who don't bring their own books to the school. In contrast, if you just want to specify one person who you don't like, then you could say, I don't like that guy who doesn't bring his own book to the school. You know what I mean? Right, I'm just looking at the Canberra light rail map and information. I'm along Northbourne Avenue at the moment. Only 3 stations to Civic bus interchange. Someone said to me that those areas and to Civic haven't got much to see, just more like residential areas rather than commercial ones, so I hardly get off in those areas. Anyway, this is a top-up vending machine, but the problem is that there is still no online app for topping up available in Canberra, which is a bit inconvenient for me. As you are living in Sydney, you definitely have the Oppo Travel app to top up automatically. In Australia, each state has registered their own transport card. I don't know the name and the specific services in Melbourne and Brisbane, for instance. I know only Sydney and Canberra, so here you just tap on and tap off to pay correct fees. I can sometimes see those who are cheating, but this naughty behavior is obviously illegal, and they will be fined if inspectors detect and catch you. And actually, I've seen many cases when I lived in Sydney and Wollongong. Alright then, the train is approaching. It's got a cute, nice red colored body, and inside the car there are several functions as well. You can bring your own push bike, for instance. There is a bike shed or mini stand. And each car has got at least one train staff available if you need some assistance or any query regarding Canberra light rail or something relating to Canberra. Normally, those staff should be knowledgeable about Canberra, but I reckon it depends on the person. But anyway, let's hop on.
Next stop is Ladima Street. Upon arrival, please exit through the left-hand side doors.
Can you hear the announcement? Next stop is Ipima Street. Upon arrival, please exit through the left-hand side doors. This is helpful for those being not really familiar with Canberra and ACT transport systems. You can either ask those for Canberra's metro staff or listen carefully to every announcement. Also, there is a bulletin board system as well, so you won't get lost even if you're not confident about English ability. Okay, now we are arriving at Ipima Street, so 2 more stations to go. Before my arrival at Civic Terminal, I'd like to talk about Canberra's transport services. So this light rail service has commenced since April 2019. It's been only a year and a few months. Still very new. And I remember when I was a postgraduate student here in Canberra, there was no such service around here. I knew the ACT government had already got this construction scheme more than 10 years ago, but I reckon there's a budgetary issue between the ACT government and the federal government, so I guess those parties had a long-standing confrontation. Please note that I'm not quite sure how they resolved the issue in those days. And I guess this light rail will extend the Civic Terminal to Wooden and the Balcony area as well in the foreseeable future. The ACT government will have finalized the extension of Canberra's metro in the next 5 to 10 years, I suppose. Anyway, there was only a bus service around Canberra before April 2019, and Action Bus is only our public transport except the line between Gungahlin and the Civic, so there's no benefit for those who are living outside the area. I'm alright cause I normally don't use any public transport, and instead I love riding my push bike. Canberra is such a tiny city, so I don't necessarily need any vehicle. I can go anywhere by cycling, which is not only healthy but also economical, you know. And I had a close friend of mine who used to ride a bike together when we were both the ANU student here. It was my privilege to have known each other for more than a decade, approximately 15 years, I reckon. He's probably the strongest and the most intelligent person I've ever met in Australia. Yeah, that guy was just amazing. And I really miss him because it's already been 2 years since I went back to Japan and met him in Tokyo. And as you know, although I wanted to go back to Japan again this time of the year, the intensification of coronavirus in Japan prevents me from going back. And in fact, it's not possible for people living in Canberra departing here for even Sydney. So even the domestic border here in Australia has been much tighter than a few weeks back. I reckon the second surge of COVID-19 has come to Australia as well, which is excruciating, but I'm happy to have this strict restriction being imposed upon the entire country. Ultimately speaking, individual health and well-being is the most priority for those residing here in Canberra. Apart from essential shopping, it's better to stay at home, no nighttime entertainment. ACT was actually supposed to ease further restrictions from 10th of July, but we've decided not to do so due to a sudden surge in the number of people being contracted coronavirus from the epicenter of Melbourne. I have, of course, the sense of trepidation. I mean, how long this situation will continue, especially when Australia's international border will reopen. No one can predict what's going to happen for the rest of 2020 and the beginning of 2021. Hopefully, things are going to be better soonish. Fingers crossed, mate. Okay, then I'm nearly arriving at Civic Terminal. As you can see from windows, Novotel is over there. I like having 2 pints of peace upstairs at the hotel. During a happy time, pretty much every drink costs me about half price, if I remember correctly, because it's been yonks since I had some with a friend of mine. Right, I'm about to get off here at Arlinga Street Terminal. From now, I'm gonna head to Asian grocery shop around here and come back here in about an hour or two. Oh, it sucks. The shop wasn't open today. It's my fault anyway, never mind. Tap on again. I don't think they're gonna charge. When it comes to Canberra Metro fare policy, they're not gonna charge you if you transfer within an hour. Okay, it's weird. There are already too many passengers before starting the peak hour, but luckily I could sit in the chair just in front of the tram driver's room. The majority of people in Canberra seem diligently to be practicing a proper physical distance, which I am really proud of them, even though there is a slightest possibility of contracting coronavirus compared to other states. Yeah, no one wants to spread COVID-19, right? From a hygienic perspective, hopping on the tram seems less risky than the bus because I've been seeing the chairs being littered with hot foods such as McDonald's or KFC. I know it depends on the bus, the time, and so on.
2:30 service to Gungahlin. You're into Gungahlin at 2:54. We thank you for maintaining social distancing whenever possible. And thank you for travelling with us on Canberra.
See, the announcement also said, thanks for maintaining social distancing wherever possible. 3 months ago, I was a bit tired of seeing and hearing such announcements and those being so serious about keeping a physical distance. But after all these months, they are committed to practicing this rule steadfastly, which is awesome, mate. I'm also used to this sort of life here. Okay, now I'm heading back home. It was such a beautiful day. Sunny day in Canberra is probably the best place to spend the whole day, especially going for a bike ride inside the mountains across Canberra. I clearly remember my best friend and I rode a push bike to Batemans Bay twice. It took around 7 to 8 hours or something. Approximately 160 kilometers away from Canberra CBD, I reckon.
Next stop is Elora Street.
Those were the days. I wholeheartedly want to reunite that small cycling community in the near future. But in 5 to 10 years term, no one knows where I am and what I'm doing there. It's kind of a tricky thing to ponder. One thing I can easily predict at the moment is that, I'm loving the English language and teaching it as well. This is gonna be my permanent job, and what I need is more innovative pedagogical methods.
The next stop is Elora Street. Upon arrival, please exit through the left-hand side doors.
Upon arriving at Elora Street, please exit through the left-hand side doors.
How was the video today? So did you enjoy my video today? So that's how the Canberra light rail works. Okay, so thank you for watching today and see you next time. Bye.
Today's words: inspector, bulletin, excruciating, litter, ponder, pedagogical.